Johnny Depp, the mega star, is the noble knight who is not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And that's the word on the street. And the truth, Amber Heard, will be your Achilles heel. No more lies, my dearest. No more lies. Your testimony is a repugnance to the innocent who have had to withstand domestic violence and sexual abuse at the highest level, like myself. My name is Dr. Andrea Sears, and it's 2022. Let's talk, family and friends. Johnny Depp, my fan and friend, and his ex's tyrannical behavior, domestic violence and sexual abuse. Who is right and who is wrong in this instance? The answer is one may never know. And here's why. They both stole a cookie from the cookie jar. As a biracial woman, does this trial matter to me? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because as a domestic violence and sexually abused pugilist, domestic violence and sexual abuse affects us all in every race, color, creed, and gender. These are the facts. Just the facts, family and friends. The question is, did Johnny Depp sell his soul and spirit for 30 pieces of silver? Absolutely. Like it or leave it, Amber Heard. She's stunningly beautiful, an American actress, a human rights activist. She played in film roles like The Rum Diary, Never Back Down, Aquaman, and the continuation of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Amber Heard is not your average girl next door. She's a movie star, so deal with it, friends. Conclude by all means, our American actor, Johnny Depp, is not only a tremendous star, but a box office guru and also a notable star in every movie he touches. Johnny Depp is an accomplished producer, spectacular musician, portraitist, Golden Globe Award, Screen Actors Award winner with the election of 3 Academy Awards plus more. Johnny Depp is the man, all day, every day, on the big screen. Yes, indeed. Dearest Amber, Johnny's a colossal force to reckon with. You might be a star, but he's a mega star. This is the actuality, dearest. You played yourself this time around. Greetings. You stole his heart, you stole his mind, but you could not steal his soul. Immediately after he married you, he recognized his dilemma. Nonetheless, he was in too deep. That was discouraging to him. However, love is blind. Each and every one of us, justifiably so, should be merited a relationship unbound from domestic violence and sexual abuse. But in the real world, it's like playing Russian roulette. You win some and you lose some. This is the certitude of life. Let's address the questions of domestic violence and sexual abuse. Why do abusers isolate their victims? They isolate their victims because they are predatory by nature. And it's a way to bring into play their power of dominance. And the more they can hide their diabolic behaviors in the dark, it gives them a better grip on their prey. With fewer eyes watching, they close in for the kill and asphyxiate their sitting target like business as usual. When the searchlights go on, they scatter like roaches so they won't get caught. All we find is the remains of our loved ones. Why do abusers take advantage of kind-hearted souls? Because they can. Remember, kind people are compassionate, empathetic, and taking advantage is what narcissists do. They are opportunistic, selfish, and ungrateful. Because their self-centered behaviors springboard off of a sense of entitlement in their minds, the abuser strongly feels the perception of meritoriousness, which is contrary to what the reality is. How do you deal with an abusive parasite like his ex? One needs to understand that as a responsible person, parasites are egomaniacal individuals. They are disputatious. They are fixated on pleasing themselves in their warped, dysfunctional minds. They justify a superior handout. They have flawed, inflated comprehension of their own image, and you must treat them as an exclusive or else. Wrong and wrong again. You just don't. How do you cope with an abusive, manipulative charmer? Point 1. Try not to fall into the trap of being in a defenseless, exposed position at any time. Demolish their hub of profundity. That means their control tower of self-righteousness, which they solely rule over. Never ask for the green light. That's a big mistake, because you have just handed them the baton to beat you in the head and maul you to the finish line. Game over for you. Learn the skill. Instead of looking the other way. Why? Because you are in dire straits. And this is go time. Try not to be a yes man or a yes woman. This is not the time. Lastly, it is necessary to have your own vision and your design for your life. How do you handle an abusive person that makes you miserable all the time? Know this. Put on your raincoat. It's going to be a stormy night, because their tactics are utilizing culpability, impracticable beliefs, making light of all their tyranny. This individual put Johnny through the ringer and still is waiting to go a few more rounds to extinguish him completely if he decides to entertain her. That's the role of misery. Contemplate this. Passing the buck is what they do well. While these steady words are emulating in your ears, the warning signals of them crashing and burning everything in sight is imminent. This should not be a shock, because anything that upsets their equilibrium, like stirring up the fire with a sprinkle of condemnation and irresponsibility on their behalf, is a ha 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 moment for them. Consider their position. I got you, ignoramus. You are my puppet for life. Not, Amber, not. Johnny woke up from the deep sleep he was in. The woke Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp grew up in a house where his parents were moving from place to place. Being the youngest of 4 siblings, that was what he envisioned as a conventional life. Although Johnny's mom and pops disagreed often and eventually called it quits, did Johnny take a lesson from his parents of how they were? He probably did, because all his previous choices of women did not devour him the way his exes did. Consider, for example, when he was 15 years old, Johnny maintained playing his guitar on a daily basis, which eventually became his source of comfort to ease the growing pains growing up in a tempestuous household. After spending those years of his life witnessing so much turmoil, Johnny made a spectacular decision that changed his life forever. He moved to California to chase a music career, which eventually turned into an acting career with the pointers of the famous Nicolas Cage. Lo and behold, he ended up crossing paths with a captivating beauty that mirrored his mother's abusive behavior as a child. That woman was his ex. Though those behaviors were on par with his mother, Johnny ignored all the red flags and proceeded to marry her, therefore legitimizing her to destroy him in the battle he faces now. Within a short period, Johnny managed to navigate his own path and became that superstar he is now. But never in his wildest dreams did he anticipate he would cross paths with the sleeping beauty that mirrored his mom and fall deeply in love with his feet stuck in cement. That's a hard lesson to learn, Johnny, but you will triumph over this hurdle with flying colors. Why? Because the writing is on the wall. You fell for the bait, but woke up just in time after realizing the ship was sinking and his life depends on him making a jump to safety. You now know, Johnny, you have much to learn in this life. Truly, you have a good reason to know from previous experiences that violence can only be concealed by a lie, and the lie can only be maintained by violence, says Alexander Solzhenitsyn. The final outcome of occurrences. Resume being Johnny after this victory. We can't wait to see you back on the big screen and enjoying the best acting roles you've had. Johnny Brasco, 1997. Edward Scissorhands, 1990. Rango, 2011. Public Enemy, 2019. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. The Pirates of the Caribbean as the multidisciplinary mastermind in this film in June 28, 2003. Chalk it up, Johnny. You'll rise again. And Walt Disney will understand the gravity of their hasty mistake. And you'll be reinstated once again. And your best movies, Johnny, are yet to come. What is the takeaway from this story? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, domestic violence and sexual abuse claims. None of us are exempt from domestic violence and sexual abuse. None of us. In review, we understand that we are a product of our environment. You both endured childhood traumas while you were raised. Therefore, you should adjust our thinking of how you both were affected mentally, sociologically, physically, and psychologically. The events taking place now in court further illustrates and catalogs the path you should never tread again, Johnny. Preventative measures to avoid domestic violence and sexual abuse trap, says Isaac Asimov. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. She failed the test miserably with so many lies. Yes, indeed. In this difficult situation, Johnny, who does not need to protect themselves from domestic violence and sexual abuse? We all do, Johnny. In order to cope with this vicious trial, shielding your heart is key, along with promoting your passion in life. And that's making masterful movies like you always do. For that reason, Johnny, you must remember that this ordeal can continue to affect you mentally for years to come, causing you to become an imposant to other prey. You need to consider empowering yourself with the presence of mind of notifying your staff to get the necessary help you need immediately, even if you don't have the will to do so, because sometimes proximity, Johnny, creates blurred vision. The Creator will never hang you out to dry, Johnny, but humans will. What you need to know, Johnny, don't give any oxygen by being spiteful to your ex, and here's why. Revenge is like a rolling stone, which when a man hath forced up a hill, will return upon him with greater violence, and break those bones whose sinews give it motion, says Jeremy Taylor. Today, Johnny, you choose not to be subjugated and to be powerless at the hands of none, unleashing domestic violence and sexual abuse towards you ever again. Recollect, Johnny, a physiological and psychological abuser finds pleasure in the defenseless, and attacking the most powerful part of your body is the mind. They relish captivating the untouchable because they have conquered you. This type of individual desires for you to remain a lifelong mental slave to them. Flee from her. She's not worthy of your love, now or never. Happy are those who see the red flags and suit up for battle. Keep on the watch, Johnny. Be vigilant. Always, it's your life, family. She ruled with an iron rod. Bear in mind, Eric Hoffer said, Johnny, what propaganda is to democracy is what violence is to dictatorship. Leave those drugs alone, Johnny. Leave them alone. All they give you is a flawed sense of reality. I know you can, and I know you will do better. This is your fan for life, Dr. Andrea Sears. Let's have another Pirates of the Caribbean sequel. Let bygones be bygones with Disney. You are better than that. Forgiveness, Johnny, will take you long ways. Let no one frame your story or synopsisize your path. No one but the Creator. This is Dr. Andrea Sears signing off for now, family and friends. My book, The Torture Journey of Victimhood Through Domestic Violence and Sexual Abuse, Beating the Odds, 365 Days, will be published by Archway Publication and Simon & Schuster, and is presently being edited by Hancock Ghostwriters and will be available on Amazon. My website is www.365daysASLLC.net. Provides all my talks on domestic violence, along with YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok by checking Dr. Andrea Sears. Looking forward, Johnny, to seeing you back on track really soon.